It's almost what does Kalahari not have to offer here. I mean, we have 977 guest rooms, which is from a whirlpool suite to a suite that has 5 bedrooms in it. We call the Big Five. They can hold up to 22 guests. So great for family reunions. We have a variety of wonderful restaurants.
Your Kalahari adventure awaits. Welcome to Pocono Mountains Podcast, everyone. Season 4, Episode 10. I'm your host, Jim Hamill. 220,000 square feet filled with wet, wild fun. Kalahari Resorts and Conventions has been on the Poconos scene nearly a full decade now, with its amazing facilities adorned by African artwork, the monstrous indoor water park, behemoth convention center, and the food. Yes, the food. It's got everything for families, for business and leisure, combo stays, and more. And its people, the ownership and those who lead the way at Kalahari are doing good deeds around the globe. More on that in a bit. The Poconos is a year-round destination for millions, with 2,400 square miles of mountains, forests, lakes, and rivers, with historic downtowns and iconic family resorts. It's the perfect getaway. You can always find out more at PoconoMountains.com or watch PTN, the Pocono Television Network, streaming live 24/7. Now, back to the episode. Our Brianna Strunk will have a story about Kalahari and its mission to bring clean water to people who need it, all while providing a world-class destination for families to splash around. Catch the story on the June Pocono Mountains magazine. Until then, here's Brianna and Don. Enjoy.
Hello, everyone. Brianna Strunk with the Pocono Television Network here. Thanks for listening to this latest episode of Pocono Mountains Podcast. Chances are you're driving into work, maybe driving home, just dropped the kids off at school, and you are thinking, it is time to plan a summer vacation. Well, look no further than Kalahari Resorts and Conventions in Pocono Manor. Their indoor water park is open year-round, no matter what the weather brings. This time of year, spring and summer seasons, they have outdoor adventures at Gorilla Grove. And it's just a great place to bring the family. So we're going to talk to the general manager of this beautiful property about everything Kalahari Resorts and Conventions has to offer and talk about a heartfelt initiative that the resort has started in order to bring clean, safe drinking water to communities in Africa. And there's plenty of ways for you to get involved as a guest at the resort. Here's our conversation. Take a listen. We have a lot to talk about, but let's start with first Kalahari Resorts and Conventions, with a location here in the Pocono Mountains, home to America's largest indoor water park resort. Can you tell us everything that Kalahari has to offer?
It's almost what does Kalahari not have to offer here. I mean, we have 977 guest rooms, which is from a whirlpool suite to a suite that has 5 bedrooms in it. We call the Big Five. They can hold up to 22 guests. So great for family reunions. We have a variety of wonderful restaurants. Everything is our own branded restaurant. Everything made in scratch. Italian restaurant, steakhouse restaurant, American fare, Cinco Niños, modern Mexican food, a bunch of quick service locations. All of our pizza is made from scratch. That's how the company actually started, was with pizza. Then, of course, we have, when we opened, was America's largest indoor water park, 220,000 square feet of indoor fun, where it's always 86 degrees and nice humidity in there, and even in the coldest time of the year. In the summertime, which is right around the corner here, great outside activities in the water park. And then, of course, we have Gorilla Grove, which is a lot of fun, miniature golf, a ropes course. Last year we added outside laser tag, so it's like paint guns, only without the paint, so you can have a great time doing that. And then, of course, we have this great convention center, fantastic shopping, a spa. I love our spa. We have a great hydrotherapy area. We've got a salt room, massages, facials. That's what I really mean. What do we not have to offer?
And it kind of seems like, in a way, an all-inclusive experience that you could come here and stay on the property for days and have everything to keep your family fed and having fun.
All under one roof. You never have to leave. There's so many options that you can do. It's really a one-stop shop for great family vacations and also for conventions as well.
Talk to us a little bit about the convention area. I know we've been here a lot at the Pocono Mountains Visitors Bureau for several events. It's really a beautiful space for a convention or a meeting.
We're very, very proud of our convention center. We're actually standing in our convention center right here with the entrance to the convention center with the Tree of Life. And it's over 200,000 square feet of flexible meeting space. It's some of the largest meeting space in the entire Commonwealth. It's attached to a hotel. And we do every kind of event that you can imagine, whether it's cheer and dance, or we have a wrestling event coming up, events that we've done for the Visitors Bureau. We've got the ESU Economic Summit coming up this week as well, to the most sophisticated corporate events, association events, anything that anyone wants to do in our convention center space, we can accommodate them. Separate kitchen just for the convention, so all the food is excellent, and we've grabbed great AV offerings. And it's in a beautiful setting in this African-themed resort. It's very, very unique.
Why did you see the need for a convention center? Why did you decide to bring that here to the Pocono Mountains and Kalahari Resorts?
So Kalahari Resorts, all of our resorts have great convention centers, hence our name, Kalahari Resorts and Conventions. And part of that is that when school's going, we still need to have a reason to be able to operate our great big hotels so we can bring convention guests to the resort. But what's really interesting that happens is when a guest comes here for a convention, they almost always come back as a transient guest. They bring their family here for spring break or the holidays or during the summertime. So that was really the reason why we have the convention centers. It's also great for our brand because we do such a high level of service in our convention centers. And there was a tremendous need in this area. You know, the Pocono Mountains did not have a convention center that was near this size. You'd have to get into New York, New Jersey, or the Philadelphia market in the Harrisburg area. So it was a great location here where we could put a great convention center and draw people from all of the 5 states that surround us.
And when people hear water park, they think that's an outdoor seasonal thing.
Right.
But like you said, an indoor water park, so you can plan your vacation here at Kalahari any time of the year. It's waterproof. You don't have to be checking the weather before you come here. Can you just talk about how important that is from a guest standpoint?
Sure. It's rain or shine. So, I mean, you know, you go to the shore, let's say. The shore is wonderful to go to, but what are you going to do if a nor'easter comes in or if there's a thunderstorm or something like that? We're not impacted by that. It doesn't matter what the weather is. If it's too hot, we can cool it. If it's too cold, we can warm it, and it's always beautiful, and you don't ever have to leave about being impacted by the weather.
And also downstairs, there's an area where people could do laser tag, bowling, and arcade. So there's more than just the indoor water park.
Big game room is so much fun. I've had many, many parents that have described it as a casino for kids. And they love to come into the big game room, and there's laser tag, there's miniature bowling, there's bumper cars, there's just about every arcade game that you can imagine. There's even a human crane now, which is brand new, and it's kind of cool where you get in a harness and they move you around and you pick up items as if you were a crane. So it's constantly changing, and it's just a ton of family fun.
So weatherproof vacation options, but this time of year people also want to spend time outdoors, and you really hit on that with the Gorilla Grove and some outdoor fun as well while people are here.
Gorilla Grove is really unique to this entire area. You know, there's aerial adventure parks in the area, but there's miniature golf in the area, but there's not everything in one location. So we have this really, really exciting miniature golf course right in the Gorilla Grove area. Zip line that comes and ends right at the miniature golf course. Great ropes course, and then like I was telling you, the laser tag. It's like paintball without the paint. So anything your family can do, and we even have it for the little tykes as well. I mean, every ropes course is appropriate for small children. So all family friendly for every age group.
And you did mention a little bit about the restaurants. There are a lot of options, more the formal sit down and also grab and go. There's really a nice variety, like you were touching on, with double cut and the Italian options as well.
So we try, if a guest comes and stays with us for 4 or 5 days, we want them to have a different experience every time, every single night, breakfast as well. So there's lots of options, and you can guarantee it's all great quality because it's all done right here fresh in-house by us. Each restaurant has its own separate kitchen. Each restaurant has its own chef as well. So they concentrate just on the cuisine for that specific location. But yes, a variety of restaurants that fit every need of every family and every guest that joins us.
And I can remember back, I don't remember this specific year, but when Kalahari was built, this beautiful new addition to the Pocono Mountains, what year was that?
2015. Believe it or not, we opened on July 1st of 2015.
Wow. The Nelson family founded Kalahari. Of course, they have several locations of Kalahari Resorts and Conventions. How many locations are there?
We have 4 that are operating right now, and the 5th is under construction in Virginia.
What was the purpose of building here in the Poconos, or why did they want to expand here, the Nelson family?
Well, in 2015, there was 44 million Americans within 4 hours, and now the number's more like 47 million Americans within 4 hours of a drive radius. So we just wanted to be able to bring our brand to 47 million Americans and have them come and experience the great brand that we have with Kalahari, the water parks, the convention, the artwork, just everything about our resort community.
And when people walk through, they see a lot of African influence with the sculptures and the photos, and they might be wondering what's the background story behind Kalahari. Can you talk about that a little bit?
I can. It's a really interesting story. So Kalahari is founded by Todd and Sherry Nelson, and their 5 children are also involved in the business. And they had a business in the Wisconsin Dells that they ran for many, many years, and they wanted to do something a little bit different. They had gotten into the water park business right when the water park industry was starting, and it started in the Wisconsin Dells, Wisconsin, about an hour north of Madison. And they took a vacation and they went to South Africa. And with it being in South Africa for 2 or 3 hours, they had decided that they were going to come back to America and they were going to build authentically themed African resorts and bring the culture and the artwork and the feeling that they experienced in Africa back to America so people could enjoy the African heritage and the African culture. And that's how the resorts completely started. And we have stayed with, they have stayed with that theme for the entire time. And you know, this is a great example of the artwork and the culture that's been brought from Africa to America so Americans can enjoy it.
So this started with a vacation to Africa?
This started with a vacation to Africa many years ago.
And for starting with a vacation to Africa and then building this huge, massive brand, they must have felt really inspired in Africa to bring the culture to the United States in such a big way.
They've been to Africa more times than I can count on all my fingers and toes. I don't know how many trips Mr. Nelson's made to Africa, but it's part of their annual, travel schedule where they go to Africa, always trying to find new things for the resorts, new culture for the resorts, things that we can bring back and just continue to enhance the African heritage that we have and the culture right here in the resorts. I always love it when I'm walking through the resort and I meet some guests and they say, I've been here, I recognize this artwork, and it's like, this is amazing. It's because it's everything that you see. If it looks like it's from Africa, it's from Africa.
And speaking of the guests, the Nelsons and Kalahari Resorts and Conventions have now created a way for guests to get involved with helping communities in Africa. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Very, very, very exciting. So on one of the visits the Nelsons made to Africa several years ago, they realized what a real need there is for clean, safe water in Africa. And it really touched Todd and Sherry's hearts, and they said, we need to do something. We've been very, very successful with our resorts. We need to do something to help impact these people in Africa. They're living in the very rural areas of Africa. They don't have clean water, and they don't have safe water. I don't know if you know this or not. I mean, we were talking off camera about the fact that I have 2 daughters and you're a woman here, but in Africa, it's the job of the girls to go and get the water and carry the water in jerry cans back to the village. So the young ladies don't ever have an opportunity to ever get an education. That's their job all day long, is to carry the water. So by bringing fresh water to the villages in Africa, then just think about the impact it has just on the young girls, how they can actually have an opportunity to gain an education. Diarrhea and disease in Africa is spread through dirty water, unsafe water, so this just makes it so much healthier for the people to live. And that's what started the entire mission, to bring fresh, safe, clean water to as many people. The goal is up to 1 million people in Africa, and it's a wonderful initiative that the guests have an opportunity to be part of.
And there's several ways to do it, by either scanning your phone and donating on some of the kiosks, or rounding up at a retail location, purchasing a special water bottle or a book that was created and is available in one of the retail shops. It's really easy for a guest to get involved, and it really is as easy as rounding up in some cases.
Yeah, Roundup is really, really popular, where our guests will go in and they'll purchase something and they'll just round up, knowing that all of those contributions are going directly to the Nelson Family Life Foundation Watercolors Project. And that money is all used to drill wells in Africa. You can buy a sculpture, which is probably my favorite one, and you can see these sculptures displayed, and you're able to see the story of the artist artist who actually made the sculpture. And it's just a connection between the artist and what his expression was with this piece of African art. And these solid stone sculptures that a guest have the opportunity to purchase these, take it back to their home, and know that the money from that sculpture is going to help drill more wells in Africa. And the family is matching these proceeds to continue with their mission of bringing water to 1 million people.
And do you find, from the guest perspective, even just something as simple as rounding up, they have a chance to get involved in something good and really feel good about what they're doing, because it all adds up?
It makes, so, sometimes people go on vacation and why should I be able to have this, be able to do these things, and why am I so lucky, so blessed to have these things? And now the guests actually have an opportunity to say, through our vacation, we're actually going to help people in a part of the world that really need help. So it's a very positive. The response we've had so far has been fantastic.
And what is it called? The jerry
can.
Jerry can.
Jerry can looks like it's a can that you lift up. It looks like the old fuel cans that put on the back of Jeeps and stuff. So if you drive a little bit further, it's called a jerry can, and they fill them with water from usually a stream that's not running or a pond where animals are drinking out of it and bathing in it, and that's the water that they take back to their villages and they use to feed their children and do their cooking. We have no idea, no concept of what that's like here in the United States.
And when we were in the main lobby, there's actually a 40-pound jerry can that guests can pick up and really just kind of get a glimpse of what it is like to be one of the African women carrying this on a daily basis.
Exactly. You talk about impactful. I mean, that's a really impactful story to see. Wow, this is what my 11, 13, or 15-year-old daughter has to do every single day. Yeah, it's a very impactful story.
And it's one thing to ask for donations, but having the jerry can for them to pick up, seeing African residents, a picture of them and their stories in the lobby, associating the artists with the sculptures that could be purchased. Do you really find that that's a way to get guests further involved, to actually see and hear the stories of people they're supporting and helping?
Having the real life stories is what really touches our guests and really makes a difference for what we're trying to accomplish here at the resorts. My favorite video is when the water well actually hits, they're drilling a well and they actually hit water, and the water is spraying out of the well, and the entire village is dancing through all this water. As they realize how their life is going to change because now they're going to have fresh, clean water. And what that became a community well, that became public restrooms and showers that serviced a school and the entire community. So it's just, the impact is unbelievable how it, what it does in the local communities in Africa.
From what you know or understand, what is a day in the life of someone in one of these African communities when they do not have clean water? Do you know what that's kind of like?
Well, I have no idea. I could never even fathom what it would be like, because we take fresh water just for granted here. But you think about this, so, a very rural community, the boys are hunting or farming or gathering, and the girls are the ones that are sustaining the household. So they're going to get the water to bring back for cooking and such, and, raising children. And, one of the stories that's the saddest is the fact that death is such a reality that we don't experience here as well. They don't have a healthcare system like we have a healthcare system. But the first step is just giving them safe, clean water, and their life is going to be so much healthier just from the start. So I don't think I can personally comprehend what life is like in the African bush, no.
And what is the process like for drilling the water? I mean, so the donations are collected from the guests, and then they have to go and actually do the drilling. Is that a pretty involved process?
There are companies in Africa that the family and other companies partner with that go out and drill these wells, and it's not guaranteed that you're going to hit water. So it's a big process, and they have to go miles and miles and miles into the African bush through very undeveloped roads, very, very tough terrain, to only hope that they can actually hit water. And a lot of these villages don't have electricity, and so it's a very, very big challenge.
What does it feel for you, being the general manager, to be involved in such an important and heartfelt mission?
Well, you just think about the work that we do here at the resort is continuing forever. I mean, it's going on forever, touching people on another part of the country, of the world that we may never ever get to experience. So, we're creating great resort experiences, but at the same time, we are helping to bring fresh, clean water to 1 million people in Africa. This is such a game changer for their entire life. So I'm very proud to be part of this.
And one more thing we can't forget to mention, we're here by the Tree of Life and the
Yes.
Nelson Mandela poster project. Talk to us about what this is behind us.
So the Tree of Life was actually a idea from an artist who works for the company and wanted to have a real strong entrance in the convention center. And this is all handmade, and it's an incredible piece of work. I mean, you really have to see it and experience it to understand, the impact of it. And it's right when you come into the convention center and you have the Tree of Life. And then around it is the Nelson Mandela poster project. In 2013, a group of artists got together and they wanted to come up with a way to honor what Mandela's contributions were on his upcoming, what would have been his 95th birthday. So thousands of artists contributed to this, and these are the 95 posters that were selected to be what they thought the Mandela's contribution while he was on Earth was. And it's the only place in the United States where you'll see this. It's a very special. I'm very proud that this is here in our hotel resort, and so many people get to experience the exhibit. It's fantastic.
It is beautiful. If people want to get involved and make a donation to the initiatives for clean water in Africa, but maybe they don't have an upcoming trip planned to Kalahari Resorts and Conventions, and they're listening to Pocono Mountains podcast, is there somewhere where they can go online to learn more and make a donation without physically being here on property?
Absolutely. Nelson Family Life Watercolors Project, they can go on the website. It's part of the Family Foundation, and they can make a contribution right there on the website. But the best thing to do is just come and have a resort stay, and then you can contribute right here on property. That's what I suggest.
And one final point, people listening to Pocono Mountains podcast, perhaps they live here in the Pocono Mountains, Wayne, Pike, Monroe, and Carbon counties. There's a discounted way for them to come to Kalahari Resorts. You kind of give back and honor the locals by giving them some discounts so they can have a great time right here in their backyard.
Locals crew, go on to Kalahari Resorts PA, and there's a tab on there that you can click on that and register, and we have great offerings for the people who are in the Pocono Mountains area here, and they can come enjoy the resort.
Anything else you want to say or mention that we didn't talk about?
I just encourage everyone to come and experience the resort. It's an amazing property. It's got so much to offer. If it looks like it's from Africa, it's from Africa, and just come and enjoy it. That's what it's here for.
We'd like to thank Don for spending some time with us to talk about Kalahari Resorts and Conventions. Head to Kalahari's website to start planning your summer trip. It's going to be a great season at Gorilla Grove as well, those outdoor spring and summer adventures. And we thank you for listening. I'm Brianna Strunk with the Pocono Television Network for this episode of Pocono Mountains Podcast.
Kalahari Resorts and Conventions in the Pocono Mountains, and the Watercolors Life Project. Kalahari was also recently voted the best indoor water park by USA Today 10 Best Readers' Choice Awards. Find out more at PoconoMountains.com. Thanks for listening to Pocono Mountains Podcast. We'll have a new episode each week, highlighting lots of the fun things you can experience while you're visiting the Poconos. Subscribe to Pocono Mountains Podcast and leave a review and or comment on whatever platform you listen. Now you've got the Poconos in the palm of your hand.
For places to stay and shop.
And stories about the Pocono Mountains.
Go to PoconoTelevision.com to download the app and get the information you need for your visit with us.
We're back. Thanks for listening to Pocono Mountains Podcast. I'm Jim Hamill. It's been a busy couple weeks in the Pocono Mountains. The Visitors Bureau held our annual tourism summit at Kalahari to mark National Travel and Tourism Week. That was bookended by visits from Governor Josh Shapiro as PA kicks off its new tourism brand, the Great American Getaway. Brianna caught up with the governor recently at his first stop on a statewide RV trip with his family, which recently included Lake Wallenpaupack as well. Enjoy.
Get ready for the Great American Getaway. That's Pennsylvania's new slogan under Governor Josh Shapiro's tourism brand launch, and he's kicking it off by RV, traveling to 50 stops among 14 counties, including here in the Pocono Mountains. And today we caught up with him here at Barley Creek Brewing Company in Tannersville.
Tourism is big business here in the Commonwealth. $77 billion contributing to our economy. 500,000 of our fellow Pennsylvanians work in tourism, and we wanted to launch the brand campaign here in northeastern PA because y'all have it all. Amazing eateries like right here at Barley Creek. You've got skiing, you've got outdoors, you've got everything here. It's an exciting place to be, and so Lieutenant Governor and I wanted to launch here.
I think this region really epitomizes what we're trying to do in terms of tourism, and an example of how much Pennsylvania truly has to offer and how centrally located we are to other states. So we hope this raises awareness, and we hope we encourage non-Pennsylvanians to come here and take advantage of all the great things we have.
We wanted to lift up our breweries from all across Pennsylvania as important destinations for folks here in the Commonwealth and folks who are visiting. They're doing an amazing job here at Barley Creek. I mean, they are, first off, they're sustainable. They're creating delicious product right here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. It's an amazing place, both indoor and out, to just hang out, to congregate. And it's a four seasons area, right? You're coming here winter, spring, summer, and fall.
The Poconos has it all. To me, an avid outdoorsman, it's all about the outdoors. You have skiing, you have hiking, you have whitewater paddling. These are the things I like to do. And the Poconos is a terrific, really globally terrific destination for those activities.
Pennsylvania is a 4-hour drive to about 75 million Americans. And we see that in the data. We see that in the facts and the evidence that we've got people coming from all across this country in just a short drive, and they get the chance to experience what's great about Pennsylvania. Our arts and culture, our restaurants, our sports, our outdoors. We got a million different things, and people want to come here. They want to have their getaway here. The birthplace of America, and this is the Great American Getaway.
With the Pocono Television Network, I'm Brianna Strunk.
Pennsylvania, the Great American Getaway. And the Pocono Mountains is very much in that category with the upcoming NASCAR weekend at Pocono Raceway. Stay tuned for some big news on that as well. We hope you enjoyed Pocono Mountains Podcast. Please remember to subscribe anywhere podcasts are available. Come visit us in the Pocono Mountains. Plan your trip today.